We're live. Okay, I'm going to do what I tell you to do, and I'm going to share this on my personal Facebook page. I just went live on Instagram to let everybody know that I'm doing this, and so I'm going to do that right now. La-di-da. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's get on here. More than lupus. Here we go. Let's share this. Share. We are talking about autoimmune diseases today. About autoimmune diseases today. Because it's National Autoimmune Awareness Month. It's March. Okay. I did it. Helping people find us now. There we go. Okay. I'm also going to do a banner as people start to log in. Sorry. Do I have any more of those? No, I do not. Just say. Here. Okay. Here we go. Live. Blah, blah, blah. June. Quality. Let's do this. Okay. What is an autoimmune disease? National Autoimmune Awareness Month. There we go. Add banner. Hey guys, how are ya? Where is everybody right now? What's happening? Is it because of daylight saving time that everybody is still in bed? To be honest, that's kind of where I would like to be. I would kind of like to be in bed right now as well. Hello, Lupus Facebook Live support chat. Welcome all. I hope that everybody can hear me and see me okay. As people start to log in, do not forget to share this chat on your personal Facebook page. Hi, Edwina. So good to see you. Hi. Make sure you share this. Make sure you share this. We're going to be talking about a lot of great information today. It is Monday. It is March 10th. And I just want to let you know that today is actually napping day, National Napping Day, which makes a lot of sense. And that's exactly where I would like to be right now and exactly what I would like to be doing. It's National Napping Day. Each year, National Napping Day recognizes our need to nap the day following the return of daylight saving time. So we ask ourselves this all the time. Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we set the clocks forward, set the clocks back? But somehow, some way, it's supposed to overall benefit us. But not only does National Napping Day observe and encourage naps, it reminds us that there's no shame in taking naps either. It tells us that countries and cultures all over the world take naps as part of their daily rhythm of life, while preparing for the time change can offset the shock to our internal clock by napping. And many other things in our life may not handle the change so well, causing us to lose sleep in the days after. Young children and even pets, I realized this last night because my puppies were a little bit off, don't adjust as well to the time change. So it takes some time to kind of get back into routine. And some people really love the nap idea of napping. So here are some interesting things about napping. It is scientifically proven that naps may improve alertness, performance, and happiness, overall happiness. This is why people around the world, in different cultures and countries, all usually nap during the day. Naps can prepare you for a coming period where you might be able to sleep more. Naps help with restoration of cells, particularly when you are ill. A coffee nap is now a really trendy thing to do, and it's an effective way to rebound your energy levels. And if you're not familiar with that is, a coffee nap is when you drink a cup of coffee and then go nap for about 20 minutes. And the theory is you drink the coffee, you take your nap, you get that little refresher nap in, 25-minute nap, cat nap, and then the coffee caffeine will kick in by the time you need to wake up, and bing, you will be ready to go. I have not tried this myself. I often feel like, because I'm just tired all the time, and the only time I'm not tired is when I'm exhausted, right? That if I stop and take a little nap, it'll almost make me more tired. So I could try the coffee nap. We shall see. You don't have to fall asleep to reap the benefits of a nap. That is a very fascinating point. So you think of a nap as you actually being in a REM cycle. A nap is just a laying down, a resting, closing your eyes, setting your phone down, cutting off technology, cutting off the noise, getting into a cool, dark place and just zenning it. That is a nap. You do not have to be in a very deep REM cycle. So you don't have to fall asleep to reap the benefits of a nap. The nap can require a mindfulness time of just letting your nervous system calm down, being in tune with your body, letting your heart rate, letting your blood pressure, just letting your mind calm down a little bit. And another interesting thing is that humans nap differently than many other mammals. My little puppies nap all day long, thank the Lord, because they've got a lot of energy. And so do other species as well. So your body, I'll have you know, has a unique nap time. Now, what it is, only you can tell. And the interesting thing is, if you go for and try the coffee nap, that's another interesting thing too, because we all metabolize caffeine a little differently. So it might take you 35 minutes before you really feel the effects of your caffeine. And sometimes it's sooner than that, and it lasts longer. Sometimes it takes a while for that coffee to get out of your system. So everyone's a little bit different, but happy National Napping Day. I am very tired today, and I'm curious if you're tired as well with this whole daylight saving time. By the way, I've been trying to say daylight saving time and not daylight savings times, because that's what I hear everybody say all the time. Hello, Jill. Welcome. Oh, I'm so happy to have you here, Jill. I sent you a little something. You should get it. You should get it, because I was thinking about you and you've been such a wonderful support to us. So I sent you a little something as a thank you because of everything you've done, and you're working on a blog. You're just wonderful. So anyway, let me introduce myself. We've got a lot to cover today. I am working on limited amounts of energy, so I'm going to do my best to keep up with everything that we've got to cover today. Hi, my name is Kelly. Hello. And I am the creator and executive director of this small but mighty nonprofit based in Portland, Oregon, More Than Lupus. And if you're unfamiliar with More Than Lupus, we are an inclusive, diverse community designed by lupus patients, and lupus patient focused, lupus patient centered, lupus patient driven, to connect, to grow, and inspire you throughout the peaks and the valleys of your unique, one-of-a-kind lupus journey. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. As I mentioned, my name is Kelly. I'm out here in Portland, Oregon. I'm originally from Southern California. I love music. I love theater. I saw my niece in a show over the weekend. She did a great job. Costumes were beautiful. Music was really special. I love dance. I try and dance once a week, at least, for my body and my mind. I love chocolate. I love a good book. I'm really excited because I'm going on a little spring vacation, and I've got my books all picked out. I love good podcasts, and I love science. I love art. I love theology. I love connecting. My favorite thing is connecting with people in a deep way. And yes, I happen to have lived with systemic lupus since the age of 11 and multiple lupus overlap conditions. And hold on. go ahead and refresh your page, just a little spam. Just a little spammy spam, nothing bad, but too bad, but just go ahead and refresh your page. And I am your facilitator. I have had lupus since the age of 11. I had multiple lupus overlap conditions, been hospitalized dozens of times. I've had many rounds of intense immunosuppressive therapy. I'm currently on 4 immunosuppressive therapies to keep me rocking and rolling. And I'll be here with you for today, for the next hour-ish, for this hang time, support group, community gathering, forum, chat session, question and response, whatever you'd like to call it. Once again, please make sure you share this on your personal Facebook page. Many of you have other pages and support group pages that you run or you support or you're a part of. Make sure you share this there. This is a big one about autoimmune diseases today. First, I want to give you a few updates before we get into our topic. Due to budget constrictions and schedules, we are not meeting in person for our monthly support group the next couple months. But we hope to be back in May in person for Lupus Awareness Month. However, we are still meeting virtually the third Saturday of the month at 3 p.m. And our next Zoom is March 15th, which is this Saturday. I will be getting back from a trip. I will be in Arizona for a lupus patient steering committee. And so hopefully I will be doing okay. Traveling is always, questionable. So go ahead, put that on your calendar this Saturday. If there's a time change for any reason, I will let you know as soon as possible. This Saturday is our virtual support group meeting. Everyone is welcome. If you do not get the Zoom invites, make sure you put it in the comments here or private message us, and we will send to you the chat link, the Zoom link, and make sure you get added. Also, we have our Getting to the Heart of the Matter Lupus and Heart Health virtual event with Dr. Don Thomas from the lupusencyclopedia.com, who wrote the Lupus Encyclopedia, now in the second edition. This was an incredibly informative and engaging event with so many pearls of life-saving wisdom when it comes to improving your heart health and being proactive instead of reactive, and the different types of ways that lupus can impact cardiovascular health. And also just a reminder that cardiovascular disease is one of the leading causes of death of lupus. So it's really, really important to take a watch. And speaking of Dr. Thomas, I haven't even been able to do our infographic yet because I just got an email last night from him. Guess what? He's coming back, everybody. He's coming back. My hope for 2025 is we do one educational symposium a month and get 2 blogs out every month, in addition to our robust social media schedule. So he's coming back. He's going to talk about all things kidney related with lupus and kidney health, because in addition to March being National Autoimmune Awareness Month, it's also National Kidney Month. Kidney Month, which is a big one for all of us with systemic lupus. Around 50% of people with lupus will have some sort of kidney involvement and will have some sort of kidney failure. So join us March 22nd. It's the following Saturday. So we have our support group on the 15th. The following Saturday is the 22nd. Come back here live. We will be going live here and on YouTube. Dr. Thomas, who wrote the Lupus Encyclopedia, which is the best comprehensive guide for patients and the people who support them in the medical community on lupus. He is so wonderful, so kind, so giving, so easy and accessible to talk to. He is our favorite. 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Time for this special event. He will be taking questions after. Do not miss this educational event with one of the nation's top rheumatologists, talking all about one of your precious parts that gets impacted by lupus all the time. These pearls of wisdoms could change your life, could save your life, could improve your life. Do not miss this. You need to be there, okay? So the infographic is coming. I didn't have a chance to do it this morning. I had a busy morning. And if you want us to be able to continue to present these educational events and to have a space for support groups and resources, would you consider giving to us? Thank you so much for the few that gave last week. really meant a lot to me. I know who you are. You mean the world. You are always the faithful that are giving. I made a plea last week to help due to grants being cut because of everything that's happening in our country right now. And our resources and financial support are running out, which means to continue the supply desperately needed services and support to the lupus community, we need a little help. And I was thinking, and I said this last week, if every person who watched these lives, we have 500, 1,000, some of our lives have 5,000 to 10,000 views. Yes. If every person who watched the live or streamed it later donated $5, we would be able to continue to go on. We would be saved for at least a little while. So would you please join me? I have poured over 10 years of my life into lupus advocacy and support, and not have really gotten paid much. And I actually left the last job I had that actually gave me a paycheck to not get a paycheck. And it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and it's a work that I feel privileged to do, but I can't do it without support. I'm kind of a lone wolf here working on my own, and I have a wonderful board that helps, but we do need that financial support to continue to offer these resources. So if you would consider donating, I'm actually going to put the donation link, hold on one sec, right here, $5. If you can donate more, that would be flipping amazing. And here's the donation link. Okay, let's get to the disclaimer so I can get to today's topic. And what you're really here for is the meat and potatoes, right? You want to hear this stuff. So here's the disclaimer, just so I can make sure that we know we're all on the same page here. More Than Lupus is the Facebook page, Lupus Live Support Chats, are aimed to be a positive and open space where you can both give and receive support and encouragement from others. I am not a doctor. We do have doctors on with us, but I cannot give you medical advice, nor can they, or diagnose the symptoms that you may be having. I can't even tell you that what has helped me in my many years, decades of living with lupus will help you. Every person's a little bit different. All that we can do here is provide you with information and resources that hopefully you take back to your doctor and have an open and honest conversation about what is the best course of action for you in your unique one-of-a-kind lupus journey. Additionally, this group is intended for those living with lupus or lupus overlap illness. It's also intended to provide support and encouragement to those who know someone living with lupus, a friend, a family member, a coworker, a loved one, a neighbor. If you don't fall into those two categories, as you know, you saw me block someone earlier, you will be blocked. Sometimes this gets shared into spaces that it shouldn't be shared and it gets spammed. And I see that, I get rid of that, and I will tell you to refresh your page. Please keep all comments positive. Any inappropriate material will be deleted. And that is it. Also, one last plea to share. The more you care, the more you share, the more other people are aware. People are going to hear things today, maybe for the first time, or understand things in a fresh new way. Be reminded of things. Make sure you share this chat so that people can get connected to support, to patient-focused, patient-driven, patient-centered, patient being amplified information at More Than Lupus. We are different because of that. So yes, please share this on all of your groups. All right. And please also tell me where you're from, if you have lupus, or if you're here to support someone who has lupus, and how you're doing. And then share it in the comments if you shared this. I really appreciate that. Okay, let's get to, like I said, the meat and potatoes of today's discussion. We are talking about autoimmune. So I'm going to present a lot of information, and hopefully this makes some sense. As I mentioned, I am not a doctor. So I am a researcher by proxy. That's the best that I can say. And I'm also not an autoimmune expert, nor am I a lupus expert. I've just lived with it for a long time, and I have leaned into the research to educate myself and to help me to better understand my own body. So our immune systems are our body's natural defense systems. Most of us know that, right? And one of its primary functions is to protect the body by going after foreign, Scared me. So my husband walked by. He was so quiet. For going after foreign invaders and substances. And that can be anything from microorganisms by viruses or bacteria or foreign objects in the body. And what your immune system does is it produces antibodies. And these antibodies, which are produced by the white blood cells, they communicate with each other. They're little beep, beep, boop, to protect yourself and to attack potentially harmful and dangerous invaders in your body, antigens, bacteria, viruses, all that stuff, foreign bodies. The problem arises when that's what we're supposed to be doing. Our bodies were designed over many long time, however long you think the world is, to do that and to keep us alive. Yeah. The problem arises though when there's a little overzealous action, right? When in some instances immune cells, your protection system in your body, mistake the good cells, which are supposed to be there, from the bad cells, which are not supposed to be there, and they can't tell the difference. And in autoimmunity, it thinks that normal healthy cells are a threat, danger, bad, need to go, foreign invaders, and they go after them as if they were bad, threat, foreign invaders with their little sticks and spears. We've been watching a lot of Lord of the Rings, so like spears and arrows and stuff. And this can lead to the development of an auto. An auto means in Greek, cell. Oh, wait, shoot. Is it Greek or Latin? Jill, you're here. You'd know this. I'm totally blanking. Auto means self immune disease. So auto self-immune disease. Okay. Yeah. Can you tell me? Greek or Latin? I'm totally blanking. Anyway, it doesn't really matter, does it? As I mentioned, not a doctor. Did not go to med school. Autoimmune diseases range in variety and severity. You could have some that don't really impact your daily life that much, and others that impact almost every aspect of your life, right? Like systemic lupus, it's everywhere. And include a broad umbrella, autoimmune diseases include a broad umbrella of related disorders where a person's natural defense system, their immune system, attacks their cells and tissues by mistake. They're not supposed to be attacked by the immune system. And so what causes it? What causes it? What causes this overzealous immune response? Now, not everyone knows what causes an autoimmune response in every individual person. A lot of research, a lot of clinical trials have been invested into trying to peel back the layers to this mystery, because most healthy immune systems can distinguish between self and non-self. That's how we've survived as a species. Our immune systems have become more robust, and they know what's danger, what's not danger. And interestingly, some natural autoimmunity occurs in everyone to some degree. And in most people, it doesn't result in any problems or diseases. Unless you're lucky like us, right? Unfortunately, various factors can lead someone to move outside of that normal, average, low autoimmune response and develop a autoimmune disease. Okay? Dis-ease. And when this happens, your body's natural defense system, your immune system, can become overzealous, overactive, and turn on yourself and on the body's natural healthy tissues, resulting in a whole host of symptoms and disease manifestations, depending on what disease you have and where it likes to fall, right? And as I said, the exact cause of autoimmune diseases is not entirely understood. Still, they believe that genetics, so predisposition in your genes, combined with exposure to bacteria, exposure to viruses, toxins, stress, trauma, and some drugs can trigger hormones, can trigger an autoimmune response in someone who already has the predisposition to develop one. I was having this conversation a few days ago, and we were talking about Epstein-Barr virus. And Epstein-Barr virus is the virus that can cause mono. That has been deemed by the lupus scientists as the number one virus linked to lupus causation. Now, does Epstein-Barr virus cause lupus? Well, no, because many people can get Epstein-Barr virus and not get lupus. It is if you have the predisposition in your DNA, if you have these hundreds of what they've now discovered, genetic variances in your DNA, in your genes, if those are there lying dormant, nothing's really happening with those. And then you bring in a catalyst, a virus, a bacteria, a toxin, a trauma, a big shift in hormones, something that really messes with your system. That is what is going to cause the predisposition to come out. So you can have Epstein-Barr virus and not get lupus. You can have genetic variances and not get lupus because you don't have the catalyst, and every person's catalyst is a little bit different. Does that make sense? Okay. What's interesting about, and I'm going to get off this tangent because I'm kind of getting in the weeds here. What's interesting about the Epstein-Barr virus is that they are now working on a vaccine for that. So how amazing is the prospect of those that know that family members have autoimmune diseases, also maybe have a tendency to lean towards rheumatic illnesses like rheumatoid arthritis and systemic lupus, which share a lot of the same DNA variances, can take the Epstein-Barr virus vaccine prepubescently or around puberty, because that's where a lot of the symptoms come out, and sidestep that landmine for now. For now, there's no guarantee that another trauma or another bacteria or another stressor in the body may not make your symptoms come out, but at least you know that one's taken off the table. The number one cause of number one virus linked to lupus causation, along with the genetic variances. Interesting, right? Okay. So combination of genetic variances combined with exposure to bacteria, viruses, toxins, and drugs and hormone shifts can, in someone who already has the predisposition to develop one, can lead to an autoimmune illness. Experts think the inflammatory process caused by these agents may provoke the body into an autoimmune reaction. Okay. Hi, Naomi. Good to see you here. So stop and say hi. Good to see you. Make sure everyone who's watching this on YouTube and Facebook, share this. This is some really great information today. Get this going. Okay. We want to make sure that as many people can see this as possible. So there are a lot of different types of autoimmune diseases, and there are different ways to classify autoimmune disorders as well. And one of the most common is categorizing autoimmune diseases into organ-specific and non-organ specific conditions, also called systemic. Where have I heard that word before? For example, hi Darian, good to see you. Thank you guys for being here today. Really excited for this conversation. For example, some manifestations of autoimmune illnesses destroy a specific cell or tissue type and interfere with organ function, like with the autoimmune thyroid disorder, Hashimoto's disease. And that's just one type of thyroid disorder. There's others, but Hashimoto's disease. And this is where the immune system cells lead to the death of the thyroid hormone producing cells. Okay. So that's very specific, right? Just in one spot, it goes after one thing and it causes one problem, right? Other autoimmune diseases like type 1 diabetes that goes after pancreas. Or Addison's disease, that goes after adrenal glands. Or vitiligo, which is a pigment-producing skin cell, that goes after that. And all can mainly affect one organ, one part in the body, right? I'm not dismissing it because living with these illnesses is hard, and many of the ways that it impacts that one organ can present in a lot of symptoms, right? It's not just one symptom you have; it's just one organ that's being impacted. Like say with the pancreas, with type 1, you can feel tired, you can feel moody, you can feel lethargic, you can feel thirsty all the time, you can lose weight, you can feel, you can feel mentally foggy, all those things. Yeah, yeah. In non-organ specific disorders, the autoimmune process is widely spread throughout the body. Like in lupus, with lupus, you can have an autoimmune response that impacts many parts of your body. That's why they call it systemic. It's many systems. Your joints can be, your musculoskeletal system can be impacted. Your skin can be impacted. Your cardiovascular system can be impacted. Your kidneys can be impacted. Your lungs can be impacted. Your brain can be impacted. And many other organs can be impacted as well. Yes, special, right? And other diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, dermatomyositis, and scleroderma can affect the body systemically too. With scleroderma, you think, oh, it's a tightening of the skin, and you see it externally. No, did you know that besides the skin, scleroderma impacts the lungs the most? The lungs. And it can also cause joint pain, and it can also cause cognitive impairment. Scleroderma, I know people who have had double lung replacements with scleroderma. It is awful, awful. So those are examples of systemic autoimmune diseases. So organ specific, non-organ specific. Make sense? Okay. Hi, Robin, watching on YouTube. Thank you. I sounded just like my son there, or he sounded like me. Oh my gosh, that was like I heard my son's voice when I said that. Now, who do you think are most affected? Robin, would you share this in all your spaces and places, please? Because this is really great. This is some really helpful, hopefully helpful information today. So, who do you think are most affected by autoimmune illnesses? Just a wild guess. I'm just gonna, who do you think? What do you think? What would you say? Who are most impacted? Could it be women? Or women who were identified as female at birth? Yes. Okay, so autoimmune diseases, yes, they can affect anyone. And I know I'm going to get it. Anytime I say, like, lupus disproportionately impacts this group or that group, I get heat by anyone who's not in that group. I understand because it feels isolating to you and invalidating. That's not my goal. My goal is just to present facts. Autoimmune diseases can in fact affect anyone. However, women seem to be the most susceptible. Women. It can also vary by race. For example, African American women are 3 times more likely to get the disease lupus. Lupus is also more common in Alaskan Native, Indigenous, Hispanic, Asian women. Fibromyalgia, a disease that is more than twice as likely to affect women than men, is now being looked at as a possible autoimmune disorder as well. I'm actually going to place this here because I find this really fascinating. This is Dr. Thomas's article. And I put this here because a lot of people who kind of didn't know what was going on with their body and got the fibromyalgia. Well, it's probably just fibromyalgia. diagnosed as those kind of a throwaway. Well, now they're really looking into how fibromyalgia is impacted by the immune system, or how the immune system can maybe be related to the development of fibromyalgia. So the question is, though, why? Why is this? And there are some plausible causations of this that I find really fascinating. And this is where I nerd the heck out, and I don't love what I'm reading, but I love figuring things out, right? And one of the plausible ideas is that could it be in women that the significant number of genes originating from the X chromosome creates a greater possibility of more extensive mutations? Can you hear puppies? My husband left, and now my puppies want to cry because they know I'm in here and they're gone, and he's gone. So, is it distracting to you? Because I need to go let them outside real quick. What do you think? Maybe I should. Okay, hang tight, guys. I'll be back in 30 seconds. 30 seconds. All right, 30 seconds. Okay, 30 seconds. Okay. Oh, okay. Now, if I can only find my train of thought. Good thing I have notes. Oh my gosh. So, I'm talking about the idea that because there are so many genes that originate from the X chromosome, there is a possibility of having more mutations. And one cause is related to the numerous genes on the X chromosome that are related to many of these diseases that occur more commonly. Here we go. They occur more commonly in women, and this puts women at a greater risk for developing autoimmune diseases solely due to women having two X chromosomes, whereas men possess only one. So all these extra mutations that can fall on the X chromosome, because when we have two, only one, it's double the trouble, right? Yes. Okay. Another possibility is that autoimmune diseases tend to affect women during major endocrine conditions such as puberty, pregnancy, and menopause. And we know that these changes may significantly impact the immune system because of the interaction between the immune system and hormones, the immune system and other organs in the bodies and hormones, okay? And because we're so lucky, we get all these wonderful transitions in our life of hormone fluctuations and up and down and in between. So since women experience more hormonal changes than men get them, but not like women, this may be another theory that autoimmune diseases are more prevalent in women because, like I mentioned earlier, it's the hormone shifts, it's the trauma, it's the exposure to things, that can cause these genetic predispositions to come out. Yes. Yeah. Additionally, I'll have you know, because of, if you want to use the word evolution, I know some people are sensitive to that word, but women typically mount a more vigorous immune response. than men to infections and vaccinations, which leads to men having more infectious diseases than women. Not going to say that that's a good thing or a bad thing, but producing higher levels of antibodies. And in the case of autoimmune disorders, this trait seems to backfire a little bit. So we, because of evolution and having to survive childbirth and having to go through these big transitions, we then take care of our families and our children over time. We mount more vigorous immune responses, okay, which means we produce more antibodies in general than men. And sometimes that works against us. That can be why. But as I mentioned, let's be clear, men do develop autoimmune disorders. And unfortunately, in the case of lupus, when that happens, it can be quite complicated and involved. Sadly, several research studies have suggested that men often experience a more severe form of the disease and are dismissed by their symptoms because of the stigma of women only having autoimmune diseases and only having lupus. So disproportionately it impacts women, but men still get it, okay? So let's talk a little bit about treatment options. So if this is the response, your body's going to go a little over the board, overachiever here, going to have this robust immune response because of evolution, because you have all these other variances on that extra X chromosome you have. What do you do? Like, how do you treat it? Or at very least, how do you manage it? How do you manage it? Unfortunately, there's no cure for most autoimmune diseases because, as I mentioned, they are in your DNA. They're in your DNA. But you can manage them. That's the goal. The goal is to manage. You're a manager. Yeah. Every person's immune response is a little bit different. Every person's immune response to vaccines is a little bit different. Every person's immune response to medications is a little bit different. Our bodies are just very unique creations. And because of every person's immune system, genetics, and environment, treatments may be different and unique for each person's autoimmune disease. That's why precision medicine is so amazing, and it's expensive, but it's so great because it's tailoring treatment to your genetic variances, to your body and the way your body's going to respond and metabolize medications because of your DNA and because of your variances. But that being said, I want to give you kind of general medication examples that are used to treat autoimmune diseases. And number one, of course, is the drugs we love to hate, corticosteroids. That's your prednisone, your Solu-Medrol, your all the different Decadron, all the different stuff that you hear about with corticosteroids. Those are steroids, okay? Then anti-inflammatories. A lot of people with immune disorders have a lot of inflammation in different parts of their body. And anti-inflammatory medications, those are non-steroidal anti-inflammatory medications. That's everything from meloxicam to ibuprofen, okay? Then sometimes pain medicines need to come into play depending on how your body, if it's organ-specific or non-organ-specific autoimmune diseases, where that inflammation falls, how it impacts you, if your joints are impacted, if you've got nerve damage, if you've got migraines from it, all of that can cause a significant amount of physical pain. And pain medicines might be something that your team of doctors incorporates into your treatment plan. Tramadol, something stronger than that, like some sort of a stronger opioid, or nerve medication, whatever that looks like for you, injectable medications and numbing agents to help with certain pain. All of that is kind of in that umbrella. Then sometimes medications for emotional support, depression or anxiety, insulin injections if you are type 1, that's an autoimmune illness, sleeping medications, plasma exchanges, intravenous gamma globulin, that's IVIG, and then drugs to suppress or subdue, bring down that overactive immune response. And those are called immunosuppressant medications. And those come in a whole whole lovely category of their own. And for lupus, you are looking at everything from hydroxychloroquine is considered an immunomodulating medicine. Hydroxychloroquine or Plaquenil, azathioprine. We're looking at CellCept. We're even talking about like the medications, like sorry, my dogs are barking again, so I'm completely distracted, like the Benlystas and the Saphnellos. So those types of medications as well. And those can be given through infusion. So a lot of different ways to treat an overactive immune response and how it manifests in the symptoms. Now, consider these things, and this was from the lupusencyclopedia.com. Lupus Secrets. I'm going to post this too. In addition to your doctor's treatment plan, and make sure you clear this all with your doctor, because these were his suggestions if you have an autoimmune illness, that sleep hygiene is exceptionally important. So get 8 or more hours of good quality sleep each night. If having trouble, you can check out his sleep hygiene page. Besides that, do not smoke cigarettes because that can kind of counteract any benefits you may receive from medications that you're taking. Make sure that you have a within normal BMI. Make sure that you take vitamin D and talk to your doctor about what is the right level for you. Use sunscreen every day, inside or out. Eat a healthy diet like the Mediterranean diet. Work on decreasing stress and take your medication as prescribed. Let me see if I can get all these in here. I would bring my puppies in here, but then they'd be like crawling all over me, and then I don't know. All right, is that going to go? Okay, they kind of all ran together, but oh well, you get my idea. So, what kind of doctors treat autoimmune diseases? With the specialists that you see will depend on the type of autoimmune disease that you have, and a healthcare provider may provide a referral for you to see a rheumatologist, a gastroenterologist, a endocrinologist, a dermatologist, a cardiologist, depending on what type of autoimmune illness that you have. And for the latest research on autoimmune disorders, there is a wonderful, wonderful website by the Autoimmune Association. And I'm going to just post this for you here. There we go. And I just want to kind of give you a few facts here as we wrap up and I give you your quote. There are 100 plus autoimmune diseases and are in a group of more than 100 chronic conditions in America. In the US, autoimmune diseases affect more than 24 million people. And 8 million have 8 million more than that have autoantibodies, okay? 80% of all patients diagnosed with autoimmune diseases are women. And 5 to 10% of autoimmune diseases cluster, which means that 10% of Americans have more than one autoimmune disease. Yeah, so a lot of us, we have, oh yeah, okay, so I've got systemic lupus. I also have rheumatoid arthritis. I also have Sjogren's. I also have fibromyalgia. I also have Raynaud's is not really considered an autoimmune disease, but anyway. So there's a lot of that, right? They like to party together. So here's just kind of my closing thoughts on this. And then I want to say hi to some of you, and then I want to give you your quote. Living with a autoimmune disorder can be a lot to manage, right? And having a system that's so busy attacking your own cells by mistake that it doesn't adequately protect you from the real threats that come into your body, right? And add in a suppressive therapy, take your whole immune system down, you can feel like you're just a sitting duck waiting to get pounced on by the latest virus, particularly during this horrendous cold and flu season. It is challenging. It was really challenging surviving that global pandemic for those of us who have multiple autoimmune disorders, and were kind of forgotten and kind of forsaken. And people were complaining about the masks, and yet, not thinking about those that have compromised immune system. I remember a story that happened to me a few years ago. I was leaving the store and a person yelled out across the parking lot, "You don't have to wear a mask, in here." And this was right when people were still wearing masks. And some places had lifted the mask mandate. And the mere visual of my mask triggered anger, insecurity, and fragility in this person. And I just didn't have the energy to explain, I'm wearing a mask because I just left my infusion center and sat for 2.5 hours getting an immunosuppressive therapy infusion. Nor did I think I had to defend myself. I can't defend myself, literally. I have an autoimmune disease. For me, a cold, a flu can turn into pneumonia, and a UTI can turn into a kidney infection and sepsis. Everything is an increased risk. Everything is a BDD, a big darn deal, right? And the most basic, simple, and effective way to protect myself is to wear a mask and wash my hands, particularly during the pandemic and the tail end of it. And honestly, I think a lot of that has to do a lot more with people's hearts than it has to do with my immune system and the mask, right? It really has. It's really a eternal struggle for people to see that. But I just want to kind of close this conversation up and say, if you think that you are living with an undiagnosed autoimmune condition, it's really important to be your own advocate, to talk to your doctor about your signs and symptoms. You know your body best. You know when something's off. You know when something has changed, and to make those moans measurable. And what I mean by that is chart your symptoms, chart the changes. Maybe it's for the better or for the worse. Write everything down. And any other things that may have come into your life during that time. And your doctor is part researcher, part detective, and hopefully your advocate as well. And we want to get to the bottom and put these pieces together, because maybe you do have an undiagnosed secondary autoimmune disorder, and there is some treatment options out there for you. So hope that this is helpful to you. Happy National Autoimmune Awareness Month. Share this on your chat to spread awareness this month. And maybe you learned something or remembered something you hadn't heard about in a while. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead on these last few minutes here before my puppies start to go berserk and read from one of my favorite books. This has a little spiritual to it. This is called The Language of God. This is by Francis Collins. And if you do not know who Francis Collins is, he's a big deal. Let me just tell you a little bit about him. Francis Collins was the head of the Human Genome Project. Without him, the scientific studies and research, he discovered the cystic fibrosis gene. He also, through his work at the Human Genome Project, was able to sequence DNA for the first time, which was how they were able to get these vaccines like COVID out so lickety quick. So his work was the cutting edge of DNA, and he worked at the NIH for a very long time. He is a brilliant man and one of the world's leading scientists, and he's a wonderful human being. And this book is absolutely beautiful in the way that he looks at the creator of the universe and evolution. And yes, he does believe in evolution, and is a God-believing, God-fearing man. Oh, shocking, right? Yes. But he wrote this, and I love this so much. This is a song for those who are suffering. Your strength and your spirit have touched one and all. It's your dedication that's our inspiration. Because of your courage, you help us stand tall. And finally, he added a point about the genome in this poem he wrote. It's a book of instructions, a record of history, a medical textbook. It's all these entwined. It's all the people, by the people. It's for the people. It's yours and mine. This is the song for all the good people who are part of this family. This is a song for all the good people who are joined together by this common thread. And he means human genome. We are all made of the same stuff. Isn't that interesting? I love it. He's so sweet. In fact, at the DNA level, we are 99.9% identical. Can you believe that? Really fascinating book. The science in this book, because I love my science. It's really good. This is how I learned a lot about the human genome. Anyway, okay, guys, it's 12 o'clock on the dot. I'm so happy you were here today. Oh, thank you, Kathy, for joining. I'm so happy you were able to watch on YouTube. So far, so good with this YouTube streaming, right? And take care, guys. Have a great rest of your week. Don't forget, we've got a support group coming this Saturday, online only. If you can, I'm going to share the donation for you here one last time. We are really kind of in a desperate place right now for funding. I thank you for everyone. I know who you are. I know who you are who donated last week. If you can give $5, $10, $20, every dollar goes back to this, to maintaining our social media platform, to getting our doctors, to being able to get our research, to fund our nonprofit. All of that does not go to paychecks. Zero. Okay. Zero. So anyway, I really, 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 really hope that we can continue to do this work. But I am so thankful for everyone who has donated and who has supported me. I could just cry. We're gonna fight through this hard time in the U.S. and with funding and research, we're gonna fight through it. We're gonna do our best, and we are gonna continue to fight because that's what we do. That's what we do. I wish we didn't have to. But that's what we do. We conquer by continuing. Yes. There's the link to give. And then also, for those of you who are joining a little bit later here, March 22nd, come back. More Than Lupus Facebook Live. A week from the support group on Saturday. Dr. Thomas is coming back. He's coming back with us. Yes. Same time, 1 p.m., 4 p.m. Eastern. He's going to be doing all about the kidneys. He did Heart for Heart Month. Now we're in March, which is National Kidney Month. He's going to talk all about the kidneys. Okay? Okay. I'm excited. I haven't even done the infographic yet because he just sent me the email last night, and I was super busy this morning preparing for this and other things. So take care, guys. Love you all. See you soon. Bye-bye.